Hi, y'all. It's Luco MX. Come here today. I wanted to share this video with y'all from Dirt Bike Magazine. It's discussing different dirt bikes and this guy here, what he thought was better, what he thought was worse, what they could change, what they shouldn't. He's had lots of dirt bikes, so we're going to check him out today. I appreciate everybody checking me out.
An hour yesterday going through the list of all my bikes and just remembering how I felt when I was riding them. And that's how this list is actually, prioritized, is by how much fun I had on the bike. It's not necessarily how good the bike was long term. It's not necessarily like, oh, these are the bikes that had the least amount of deficiencies, because every bike I'm going to list here had some deficiencies, like one or two like manufacturing decisions that I'm like, dude, that was stupid. So this isn't a list of like the bikes, how like the best bikes in order as far as like this is the best bike. What it is these are the bikes that I had the most fun on, and this is the order of how they made me feel and how I look back on them as far as with fondness on which ones I like the most. Interestingly enough, there are 5 manufacturers on this top 10 list. We've got KTM, Yamaha, Beta, Sherco, and Kawasaki. Another thing I think is really, really interesting is only 3 of the bikes that were on my list from 2.5 years ago are still on my list today.
Whoa.
I think that says something about how much dirt bikes are advancing and how good they're getting, because they are stinking good. This list of my top 10 bikes is really plastered.
Yeah, these new bikes with the fuel injection, man, they are just out of this world.
With 2019s and 2020 bikes. And that means 7 of my original top 10 are boom, gone, out of here. You come here often? Haven't seen you around before. So here's my list. Coming in at...
And this guy has had lots of bikes, guys. And I understand not everybody can afford all these bikes, but I hope this kind of gives you an idea, if you can. Let you know, because this guy here, he's pretty good at riding. He'll show GoPro pics. Check him out.
At number 10 was my 2012 KTM 300 XCW. I kind of had to put this on my list because it is the reason why we're even having this conversation, because it changed my life. That 2012 two-stroke, which was the first two-stroke dirt bike I'd ever had, really opened my eyes and showed me what the world of dirt biking could be like if I wasn't fighting against the bike. So that 2012 will always hold one of the most special places for me and have the fondest memories, because that is why we're even having this discussion. That is my number 10 favorite bike of all time. Number 9. This one took a number of drops on the list, but it is the 2017 Yamaha YZ250X. I loved that bike, and I said it so many times. The thing I always said...
I apologize also, guys. It is storming really, really bad right here, right now. That was the thunder.
Because I didn't like that bike, I loved that bike. It was so much fun to ride. It just made me feel super confident. I had the Kayaba front fork on several different Yamahas before that, and I never really fell in love with it, never really jived with it. But on the 2017 YZ250X, it just all came together, and that bike was just so fast to go. It was so fun to go in the fast, flowy stuff. I just had a ball with that bike. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Now, if I reviewed it again now, I'd be much more critical of it, because the only things that have happened, really the main things that have happened to my riding in the last couple of 2.5, 3 years, is I've gotten a lot more of the two-stroke riding has gotten more slow and nasty and technical, and that's where having no electric start on that bike and the gearing would kind of change things. But it is still my number 9 favorite.
This is my baby Bella, guys. She's my little rider. She's gonna start riding at 50.
Favorite bike of all time that I've had. Coming in at number 8 is a bike that's right over here. It's the Kawasaki KX250X. It's a 254 stroke, and that bike is just absolutely special. And again, it's not perfect. There's a number of things that I'm like, but on that bike, it corners so well and it tracks so straight, and the front fork is just dynamite, just keeps you right in line, that it is super, super good. And I'm super glad to have a Kawasaki in my list. It's the first Kawasaki that I've had, and I think it is.
And he's not the first person I've heard say that about those Kawasaki's as far as cornering and handling. I've also heard, though, that they don't have quite the power that like some of them do, like the Yamahas.
really, really good. Now, I'm going to hammer some things on it in the review, but overall, I would say, hey, I was looking through the 40 bikes and I'm going, tell me why I like this bike. You know, I couldn't keep it off the list because of how it makes me feel when I ride that sucker. So Kawasaki KX250X coming in at number 8. Coming in at number 7 of my all-time favorite bikes that I've had is the 2020 Beta 200RR. This 200, I still say, this bike can do things that no other bike can do because it is perfect for beginners and it's also awesome for expert riders. Not that I'm an expert, but you get what I'm saying. That
Not gonna lie, I don't know a whole lot about the beta bikes, guys.
bike felt so light and so agile, yet it had more bottom end than a lot of these small bore two strokes, but not so much power like a 250 or a 300 where it would get you into trouble. And the bike just felt like it was ripping. And then the forks that they put on that bike, I never felt like I always felt like I could trust the front fork. And so it was just so cool on that bike. I really, really loved it. And it came in as my number 7 all time. Number 6 on my list is the 2020 Sherco 300 SEF. Again, another 4-stroke here. The reason why I like the Sherco so much is because it just has a little bit more bottom end than some of these other 250 4-strokes. And so it was like the perfect 4-stroke mountain single track bike. The things that they did with that motor made it so that it wasn't going to blow you away. It wasn't like a super snappy bike, but they made it a little 2-stroke-esque where it didn't stall quite as easily and it just kind of tractored through things. The other thing is they put an awesome,
not sure how I feel about that, but he acted like it didn't have much power.
KYB front fork on that thing. And while it was valved just a teeny bit stiff for some of the more technical stuff, the sucker could just get out there and move. And it was just a joy to ride. Had great brakes, had great clutch, great motor, great front forks. I mean, what more do you want? The bike was a little bit heavy, but the way that I felt when I rode it, I was like, dang, this bike is something that I can totally get in with. And so it came in as number 6 on my list. Coming in at number 5 on my all-time favorite bikes, at least so far, it was the 2019 Beta 390RR Race Edition. This bike had just the most, out of the box at the time, I really thought that they were probably the best front forks that I've ever had on any dirt bike. I think they were the Sachs forks. So I don't care if it says KYB, Sachs, WP, whatever. I'm just looking to see how it reacts on the trail and how I feel about the bike. And that 390, the forks were awesome. But the other thing about that 390 is,
that's why it's so nice. This guy's opinion, man, is he has rode so many different bikes. Apologize, I turned that down for y'all. Yeah, this guy here, man, he's rode so many different bikes that his opinion, I mean, it's valid. You know what I mean? It's definitely valid.
yeah, it's kind of a big bore 4-stroke, but it didn't feel like a big bore. And also, it didn't feel like it was going to stall easily. That bike had kind of the perfect mix of go fast and go slow, at least for a 4-stroke that I've had. And so that 2019 Beta 390RR Race Edition is like, I just love it. And I think back to it with fond memories. They did some cool stuff on the motor. They did some cool stuff on the transmission, but it just kind of made me feel like a hero. And if I had to ride one 4-stroke all year long, I think it would definitely be that Beta 390RR Race Edition because it was just freaking good. Coming in at number 4 on my all-time favorite list was the 2020 Yamaha YZ250FX. Again, another 4-stroke. We had 3 4-strokes in a row. Here's the reason why I put the Yamaha 250FX just slightly ahead of the Beta. It's because when I rode the Yamaha YZ250FX, I could not stop giggling. That bike was just so snappy. The motor was so flippin' snappy.
I like the sound of that. When I rode the Yamaha, I could not stop giggling.
Happy that it just felt like you would just launch off of everything. And it gave me more confidence, it gave me more confidence on cornering than any other bike ever. It gave me more confidence on jumps and drops and corners. And dude, I just kind of felt like a hero a lot of times when I was riding it. The fastest lap times at like this little off-road track that I go to, the fastest lap time I've ever recorded ever was on that YZ250FX, and I'm within like a tenth of a second on 6 different bikes on that little test track. But on that Yamaha, there was one.
I gotta say, right there, that's saying a lot. That he recorded his fastest lap ever on that Yamaha right there.
One day I had Hero Dirt, and I blew all my times away because the bike had so much. It made me so confident, and it was so flippin' much fun to ride that the 2020 Yamaha YZ250FX comes in number 4 on my all-time favorite list. Now we're getting into the top 3, and these bikes are bikes that transformed me and made me feel like, holy crap, I can do anything. And these are the bikes that are the all-arounds for me, because these bikes that I'm going to list now, these are bikes that I could ride if I had one bike. These would be the bikes that they would be, and I could pick any one of these. Coming in at number 3 was the 2017 KTM 250XC. In 2017, they made a quantum leap, like KTM made a quantum leap forward between the model years 2016 and 20.
I'm gonna say something, guys. I just flagged a local race here in Missouri, local amateur race, and 75% of the people, and I mean from older to younger, were on KTMs, man. So take that for what you want.
2017, and so it came with a counterbalance motor, it came with air forks that you could adjust, it came with an updated frame. The bike was so balanced, it didn't vibrate at all. It was just dynamite. And then
I've heard that a lot about the vibration, that the bike doesn't vibrate at all. I have heard that from several people.
And the other thing was, it was the first time that I moved into this 250 range, and I found out that the 250s were lighter and more agile and more playful than the 300s. And if any bike, obviously I had one bike that changed my life. The other bike that changed my perception of dirt bikes was this 2017 KTM 250XC. Freaking awesome bike. I loved that bike as much as anything I've ever ridden, and it was dynamite. Coming in at number 3 on my all-time list. Coming in at number 2 of my all-time favorite list is the 2020, or you can swap in the 2021 because they didn't change anything. So I'm just going to say the 2020 KTM 300 XCW. That bike is just freaking sweet. You've got the TPI technology, so it's basically just sipping. You're not jetting carburetors. It's got front forks, the WP Explorer forks in 2020 and 2021. They are so soft and they're just soaking up all of the bumps. And when you're doing harder enduro stuff and slow, technical, nasty stuff, there is no bike better, in my opinion, than that.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. My whole life, man, I've been a Honda or a Yamaha guy. I started on a PW80, and my latest bike is a CRF 250R. So Yamaha and Honda pretty much always. But that right there is probably going to be my next bike.
At 300 XCW in model years 2020 and 2021. They are awesome. And since so much of my riding has gotten to be the slower, nasty, flipping bikes over, pushing them up hills and all these things and going through rocks and canyons and whatever. So
if you watch a hard enduro race, GNCC or anything like that, a majority of those guys are on those bikes.
Since so much of my riding has moved into that, it's number 2 on my all-time list. I don't want to live without a 2020 or a 2021 KTM 300 XCW. That bike is amazing. My number 2 favorite bike of all time. So here we are. We've come to the number 1 bike of all time that is my favorite, the way it makes me feel. And those of you that follow the channel have now, by deductive logic, have figured out which this bike is. It's the 2020 or 2021, because I didn't change it, KTM 250XC. It's a bike sitting right over there out of the frame. And this bike is just, if I could pick one bike to ride all year long, it would be the KTM 250XC. It can do the nasty stuff. It can do the tight technical.
I'm going to keep that in mind. I mean, he's got the 300 and the 250, and he's telling you right here he prefers the 250.
Stuff, and it can get out there and rip. I think it is the most well-rounded, most balanced, all-around off-road dirt bike out there on the market. Is it perfect? No. Does it have as much, low end as a 300? No. But it's more playful, and it's It's got a quicker, more, playful revving, higher revving motor because of the 250, and the sucker can just get out there and boogie. And it is awesome, and it makes me feel amazing. And I love the fact also that, I get it. Some guys don't like the air fork. But on this bike, I can adjust my pressure. So if we're going to do more slow technical stuff, I'll put lower pressure in it a little bit. If we're going to do faster stuff, I'm going to put a little bit more pressure in that front fork. And it just gives me the ability to modify that and change it for the riding conditions. It's my number one all-time favorite bike. So I hope you like this video. I had a lot of fun making it.
Okay, guys. So from what he just said, just me personally, he might have changed my mind. Honest to God, I was wanting the KTM 300 like as my next bike, in a perfect world. And I like what he said about the Air Force. I like that. I don't know. I'm kind of old fashioned, man. I'm simple. But anyway, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm here, Luco MX. Please like and subscribe, y'all. It really would help me out. And I'll keep the content coming, y'all. Till next time.